What's up guys, PK. So today's video we're going to be working on the EJ that's been pretty much MIA or disappeared because Morris touched it and something happened to it. But just kidding. But we are going to be putting an L15. We're going to try our best to kind of document our process and everything you need to do it. If you guys want to do it yourself, go at it.
If anyone wants to do this project, I mean, there's a lot of helpful people out there. There actually is a group chat of people doing the swaps on EJ, EK, EG, Integra. I mean, basically any older chassis you can think of. So we're here to provide tips and any, I guess, insight. I mean, we already did the swap twice already, so whatever we show now is what we've learned from the two previous swaps. Most of these, or at least as far as this build, is going to be using a FK7 block and head with a
RV6 retrofit clutch.
Yeah, RV6 Type R clutch.
And then we're adding a aftermarket LSD because the FK7 or the non-SI, they don't come with LSD. So the goal is to push, I hope, around 220, 250. We could go higher as is, but that's kind of my number just for time attack. So overall, today's goal is we're going to work on the engine aspect. So we're going to be doing the head studs and a gasket. And then Louis is going to be cracking open the transmission to put the LSD.
Why are we doing this again, bro? Why? Alright, you guys wanted this to see this car come back to life. The first time we did it, we didn't record it. This time we're going to record everything. As you can see, there's nothing in this. So we're starting with the blank canvas now. This car was our L15 swap. This year there were going to be two cars that we're building. This is going to be this summer's build. PK coming into the new videos now, and he's gonna be taking over this project because the first time around we didn't document anything.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, they didn't document any time the first time, and I mean, I always wanted attention SI, but because of reliability issues, I really wasn't a big fan. But now that they kind of fixed the issues with the head studs, I mean, I feel a little bit more comfortable with it. Telling the guys I do want to push like 220, 250,
which is basically stock.
Yeah, which is not that much. If you guys already watched my channel, I have a Type R, so that's kind of more on the faster side. This is more just for time attack, more seat time, just to get used to the EK, and it's a lot cheaper than tracking the FK. So that's the whole idea behind this car.
So what we end up doing is we're gonna put, like PK said, head studs. We're gonna put an LSD into the trans, and then Hasper motor mounts, JDI conversion harness, and then just a bunch of parts that are going to go into it to make basically a full working track car. This car's already set it up to be a track car. It already has everything spherical. It has a cage, it has a seat. So really all we really need is just a running motor. So luckily we've already done this, but we did this the hard way the first time. Now we're going to try to do this the easy way, taking out everything that we learned from the first time and just showing you guys what it really takes to put this in. So this is going to be project one. Now if you want to pan out, turn around, we're going to walk this way, and then this is going to be the second project for the year. The 2001 GSR Integra. I know what you guys are saying. Why are you going to ruin a nice...
I would keep the B18.
Why are you going to ruin a nice B18?
B series all the way, guys. B series.
No, B series is a piece of crap.
I thought you learned your lesson with that one.
Yeah, I thought you learned.
No, that's because you touched it, Morris.
Alright. Some of you guys might be more excited this because we're going to record this, removing all of this out, stripping the car, painting it. Yeah, maybe you guys might see it at a pretty big show this year. Maybe not, we'll see. But for sure, this is going to be basically a bar legal car, which means we're going to register it in California legally. We're not going to dirty smog it. And we're going to try to use all the emissions and basically get that nice little carb sticker on the hood, so we can drive the car around town and not get, basically pulled over. This is probably the one we're gonna take more to smaller events, stuff like that. And the EK is gonna be the dedicated track car. So PK is gonna throw all of the budget into that car, completely just track it the whole way. So
That's the plan. Yeah.
so let's get into the shop. We're gonna start disassembling that engine. Morris already started a little bit. You guys really don't need to want to see basically taking out motor apart. If you guys do, leave a comment. We may do a separate video of just installing head studs, like start to finish. That might be something we might do later, but let's go into the shop.
So if you guys were watching my channel, the EJ did have a B series for a minute. Took it to track. It was pretty fun for what it was. Slowly but surely, they kind of influenced me. Just do L15. If you're gonna spend $4 or $5 grand to do a B series, might as well spend a little bit more to do L15. So for the last few months, I would say the last 3 months or so for that car, I've been purchasing parts. And again, I'm trying to do a budget, right? And when I mean budget, I mean compared to an SI L15, this is a lot cheaper. So I was able to get a lot of used parts, starting with the motor, the transmission, and then afterwards, slowly I purchased a turbo, has 4 motor mounts. That took me a minute to order, or just do the lead time.
So I would say for sure what we'll do is we're gonna get into building the car, and then one video specifically, we're just gonna all sit down and we're gonna just go through the process.
Yeah.
And then tell you all the parts you're gonna need, because we can go for an hour talking about all the parts that you might need. And then we're also gonna try to put everything on the ground right now, what we have, and then you can see what we're starting with.
Yeah.
Obviously we already have the car. A lot of people start with they don't even have a car and then they start with everything else.
Yeah.
So luckily we already have the chassis, which is the biggest thing. That car specifically, like I said, it's already been stripped. It's already been, most of the bay has already been basically tucked. So that one's gonna look a lot more different than the Integra. The Integra's gonna be like messy, and that's kind of just how it's gonna go. The EJ's gonna look a lot better, I think.
Or you can bring back the podcast.
Or we can bring back the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just wasn't enough viewers. If you guys viewed more, I would have loved to bring it back, but it wasn't worth the time we were spending on it.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm probably getting too in detail, but there's gonna be another video of all the parts that we did. But what I was just trying to say is overall, it's been a few months trying to get all these parts, but again, it's because we're learning and making sure I document it, so the next time someone wants to do it, we kind of have a better idea for you guys.
Realistically, okay? So this is how you're gonna get it. Morris just took off the timing chain and the cover. He's already loosened off the head bolts. We're gonna take this head off and put it over there. You wanna grab one side or grab the other side? There we go. Luckily, let's say we don't have a blown head gasket, so.
Not yet.
Not yet, at least.
So, is this typical to see cars like this, or do you think that's more to the?
See, so you see it back here? It looks pretty solid.
Yeah, you still see all the lines.
All the lining. So that's what you want to see. A lot of times what happens with these, they just blow. It's pretty bad. Pistons look like generic, just carbon buildup. Doesn't look like there's a lot of any coolant going into the cylinders. They all look pretty much the same color, which is great to see. The block's gonna need a nice little paint a coat, like some paint on it, because it's gonna spin a little oxidized. So it may be a car from maybe the beach side or San Francisco or maybe the East Coast, but we're not too sure where these cars come from. But overall motor, how much did you spend? Just for like a base model motors.
I found this motor for $400, and with everything except the transmission, the turbo,
The accessories, basically.
and
Most of the accessories.
but it did come with most of the accessories, right? So like the coil packs came with all of it. So when I was searching for used motor, it varied from $500 to $1,200 for non-SI.
All right, so right now what we're doing is just cleaning the pistons, making sure there's no carbon deposits. You can see we're trying to get as much of the darkness away. We've already let this sit for a while while we added to clean. I'm using a microfiber, not trying to get into the edges. Don't want to leave any debris in there. Morris is going to start to actually lubricate the walls before we put the head back on. And then I'm going to go grab the studs, start installing the studs. And yeah, we should be able to put a new gasket, put the head back on, and we'll be good to go. Like I said, this gasket wasn't blown. We are going to measure the head before. Usually the gasket would be blown, send it to the machine shop. get it back, put it back on. But as of right now, this motor looks like it's pretty much always been stock, so that's a good sign. Usually they don't really blow unless you're actually making power, so.
The donor car I purchased this from was actually a FK7. It was crashed from the rear end and CVT. So usually CVT, most guys don't push hard with CVTs compared to a guys with transmission. So compared to a manual transmission. So that's, you know, crossing my fingers pretty much that it was a healthy motor. But with them taking off the head, it kind of gives me a little bit more confidence that it should be fine.
This actually be a perfect time to do a comparison video. So these are our Group and Garage in-house head studs. So these are chromoly steel. There is a couple other brands that you can get. You can get MA Performance, you can get Two-Step Performance, you can get ours. So basically, the big difference with ours and the TSP ones, which I have a couple different sets I'll show you guys. One being is going to be our nut. If you see the spacing of it, our actual spacing of the nut is completely threaded from the inside all the way to the outside. So it's allowing full threading to when we're actually torquing down the head, you're gonna have all of this area to actually grab threads compared to the ARP ones, which are only half the sizing, which I'll grab a set so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So these are the TSP ones. You can see we've actually removed them and replaced them with ours. We had a customer came in. This is basically the difference. So I'm gonna screw this nut in. This is what they provide you with. So if you see the difference, this is what they provide and this is our kit. So you see, this is the biggest difference. You see how ours has more threading on top, more threading in the bottom, more threading the entire nut. This is a tiny little nut that you get with the ARP kit, which is also the TSP kit and is also the MA Performance kit. So they're basically reusing the same. I know the specs are a little bit different, but you could even tell here how much more threading we have that goes into the entire block compared to just having it bottom out, because it has that little bevel right there. If you see right here on the stud, it becomes thin and then it bevels up to become the threading. Ours is just one single size. So you're not getting any less material here, and they're not shaving. They're shaving off material to make it into the actual.
I don't know, Kevin. It was a FNAF that threw out there. A little special, dude. Come on.
You know what?
Said you knew he grew up a little.
03? New gasket from Honda. Here's the part number. You guys want to know? All right. Perfect fitment with the new studs. Get rid of any imperfections. Some of these parts never seat against the head. Like this doesn't right here. This doesn't. So the gasket covers mostly all of it, but don't be worried if some of the parts don't look like they're covered. Yeah, our studs are installed. Last thing we got to do is fully add basically lubricant to the studs. Morris is just double checking the head right now. So if everything's good, then we should be ready to put it back on. So cylinder head installation, bust. Happens. The head does have a little bit of warpage. We just don't want to risk it. We're going to do this job once and that's it. And then for the extra day, which we have to wait for parts anyways, we might as well just take it to the machine shop, have them deck it, and then we'll be good to go. Studs look really good though, as you can tell. It's all perfect fit. Everything is basically seated correctly. New gasket's ready to go. We're gonna Morris is just assembling the head right now. He's gonna wash it, take it to the machine shop, and we'll have it back by tomorrow basically. We'll be able to reinstall the head. But in the meantime, this is some of the parts that we ordered that we just got in the pallet. So what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna add an LSD since this car doesn't come with the LSD from the factory. So we got lucky, we were able to get the whole trans, the slave cylinder, which that alone is like $100. And we were able to get the half shaft, turbo, the actuator. It's super important you get this with the turbo, whichever turbo you buy. I would recommend just making sure it has this. This is very difficult to get if you can't get it. With the turbo itself, we got the inlet pipe.
So RV6 supplies
Bolts, alignment tool, OEM bearing, XCD stage 0.
Just the OE.
OE replacement of the Type R. This clutch is good for 400.
Yeah, that's why I chose this one because, I mean, this thing's never going to reach over 350, so I'm fine with the stage 0.
If you guys are interested in these parts, visit our site. Everything's available, RV6, turbos, clutches, installments. Here's the hardware for the actual flywheel. And then this little spacer, you need to make sure you add it to your pivot under, behind the fork. This is going to be your flywheel. RV6, Type R retrofit.
It's pretty nice.
So it's designed to fit perfectly with the Civic Si, but you can use the Type R pressure plate and all that.
Does it also fit the non-SI?
Yeah, so like all the 1.5s, it fits.
Okay.
So like the only thing it doesn't fit is the 2-liter Civic.
Yeah.
That's a different car. And here's your OEM clutch. You can tell that the XCD is stamping here. And then here's the pressure plate. So all OEM quality. Same company that makes all the Honda stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, this introduction of our L15 versus L15, EK versus DC2. So catch you guys next time. Make sure to subscribe for more stuff like this. Leave a comment if you guys want to see more of this build. We should just make like a L30, dude. Imagine. Yeah. But
Inline 8?
inline 8?
No, just make it inline.
Just make a BMW engine, you know. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. EK versus GSR.
Bro, they haven't even seen the post.
L15 versus L15. In summary, for you guys, a quick recap. Planning to do non-SI engine, non-SI transmission with M factory LSD, and the RV6 flywheel and clutch, the retrofit for FK8. And then Louis is gonna see if he could do a quad turbo on it. But that's pretty much it. So catch you guys next time.